Right, good morning. It has just gone 9:30 and as you can see, we're at Siam Park today. Although I think the clue was in the title, to be totally honest.
Yep.
So the idea is to get some sun in, to do a load of flumes. We're going to go and see how much it is for the lockers and the fast passes. But we don't want to stay around here too long because the idea is to go to the beach and snap a really good seating area before the masses come in. But I think this is really cool because, as you can see behind us, there are seals swimming when it goes past.
There's one.
So
wait for your moment there,
yeah. So there's two of them swimming around in there.
Yeah. They're quite sprightly as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They do like little tricks and they keep like ducking and diving and rolling around, and one of them keeps spitting water up in the air as well, which looks quite cool. I don't know if that's how they've been trained, but
anyway, enough with that. As I said, it's just gone 9:30. We need to hot tail up to the beach, put our stuff down, get a decent seat, and then
start doing some rides.
Yes, let's get on it.
See you guys in shortly.
So we'll let you into a quick secret. This is not our first trip to Siam Park. We've actually been here on a previous occasion, although that was before we got into vlogging, so we thought we'd come back and give it another go so you guys could see why we love it so much. Now, we do love a good theme park, and that also extends to water parks. And trust us when we say that no visit to Tenerife would be complete without a trip to Siam Park. It's a fairly recent water park. It opened in late 2008, but since then has won multiple awards for being the best water park in the world. So, without further ado, let's have a quick walk through the grounds and find ourselves a good spot. And we think we're going to head for the wave pool, which is right the other side of the park from where we are right now. And we're going to show you that a little bit later, but believe us when we say that wave pool really doesn't disappoint.
Right, so we're in. We found ourselves seats. Now, a little lesson if you come here. First thing you do, go and get your locker, go and get your seat. Don't go exploring, don't stop along the way to look at the shops and that kind of thing, because this area fills up really quickly. And we're off season at the moment, and already it's about 2/3 full, I'd say.
Very much so.
And we're not even at 10 o'clock yet, so this bit gets really busy. Second thing that we've done is we have bought our fast passes, which come on a wristband like this, and that gives you a skip the line type thing for one time for each of the rides that they've got here as well.
Which I don't think is too bad, because it was only €29, wasn't it?
€28 each, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, do you think that's good value for money or not? It's up to you.
I mean, I do, because if you go to Universal or Disney, you're looking at paying $149 just to do the one skip ride.
That's true.
And it's $250 up to do like unlimited. So I don't think that's unnecessarily bad. I think we kind of felt a bit mugged off a little bit, because we were under the impression that if you get your fast passes, your locker is included. Don't know why, but it wasn't. So after we paid for the fast passes, we have to go back and get a locker. But again, I don't think it's necessarily unreasonable. It's like €10. I mean, pretty standard. Although it's weird to think that's half the price of nearly half the price of what a fast pass is.
I think that's how a lot of these theme parks working a bit. Your entrance price basically just about covers their costs, and it's the ancillaries they sell you inside where they make their margins at the end of the day. So it's kind of pretty standard for them to charge for lockers and fast passes and that kind of thing to kind of boost their margins, I suppose.
And speaking of entry prices, it costs us €41 per person to get in. If you book on the Siam website directly, not that this is a paid promotion or anything, it's just an FYI, they actually email you immediately a QR voucher. So actually when you get here, for us it was literally a 10-minute walk from our hotel, which is perfect. All we did was, you know, walk right up to the gate, scan our tickets, and we was in, like no fuss, no queuing, no. The only thing I had to queue for was to check our bags, but again it was like 2 or 3 minutes, so it was nothing major. But I mean, all in all, I think this is going to be a good day. It's going to be 24 degrees today, so that's probably going to feel a lot warmer, given like we are literally just on the kind of the beach area where the wave pool is. Bloody hell, I can't get my words out today.
And we'll show you that later. That is pretty epic actually. But the weather's glorious today. It's really sunny. I think it's going to be a hot one. I've still got my t-shirt on for now because I don't want to start burning too early, but that will come off a little bit later when we start dipping in the water. And
I've bought myself one of those things you put your phone in just so I can take a few videos going around. I really wish I'd done it before we come out here, but it was only $6.99 from the shop across the road from the hotel, which I didn't think was too bad at all. The ones in here are $20.99, so slight difference.
Slight difference, yeah.
Captive market and all that, I suppose. Anyway, we are going to rest for 2 seconds, and then we are going to head on over maybe to our first ride.
Indeed.
Oh, and if I remember rightly, the aqua coaster here is really good.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. We'll find out in a minute anyway. We'll catch you guys in a bit.
Okay, so we've decided to break ourselves in gently with a lazy river today, and this is no ordinary one. There is a point towards the end where you need to make a decision whether to stay on the left or go to the right. Now we'll get to that in a bit, but trust us when we say that you will definitely want to be on the left or you will miss out on the best part of the ride. For now though, it's time for us just to chill out for a little bit and enjoy the scenery.
Right, so I'm on the lazy river. I have no idea where Luke is. He jetted off ahead of me because he hit a rapid stream, and I am just bobbing along on my own. I'm sure at some point I'll reach up with him, but for now I'm just going to enjoy the comfortableness that is the laziness of this river.
So this is the part where it really matters which way you go. We've just gone through that junction I mentioned earlier on and have taken the left-hand lane. If you go right, it takes you back to the start of a lazy river where you have to get out. But if you turn left, you end up on a queue for this conveyor belt. So it's over to Stephen now to tell us a bit more about why this is important.
Right, so for anyone that's ever come to Tenerife and come to Siam Park, this is very novel. It's a little escalator or conveyor belt, probably the better term, that takes you up to the top level of the lazy river. Luke is up there, as you can see. But they put you in backwards as opposed to front ways, which now makes sense because you would probably fall backwards if you was going up as opposed to if you going backwards up. That makes sense? Anyway, hopefully we'll get some good views from up here.
Well, I guess you can see why turning left is so important on this ride. And yes, as an av geek, that is an intentional pun, and I make no apologies for that whatsoever. In terms of this feature though, at the end of the elevated section, there's an exhilarating slide that you go down. And believe me when I say that it's not as tame as it might look. And at the end of that, you arrive in this glass tube where there are normally sharks and rays swimming all around you. Although, as you can see today, we have a very different sort of sea creature doing something or other. Never mind, at least we know that they regularly clean the glass so that you can get a good view of whatever sea life is around you, like that ray darting across our heads just there. Before too long though, you come out of that glass tunnel and you're making your way back out into the daylight to finish the last little section of the lazy river. Now, they are really strict here when it's busy, and actually I think this is a good thing, that when you get to the end of the lazy river, they make you exit the ride and queue up again for a ring. And that means that people that have been waiting for a while get their chance too. And I think that's something that some of the American theme parks could definitely learn from. Anyway, that's it. Ride's over. As you can see, we are now out of the water. So let's just take a few minutes to compose our thoughts and give you some feedback on what we think about this ride.
Right, so we just got off the Mai Thai Rapids, and yeah, the elevator to heaven and then the slide down was quite fun. But apart from that, it's like...
It's a lazy river, right?
It is. It needs to be rapids because it just gets heavily congested.
Yeah.
Too many people, like kind of just bobbing. The current doesn't take you. And I think when there's too many people in there, there's not enough push in the water to get everyone in the same direction. Yeah. It just turns into a bit of a melee, a bit of a free-for-all. But glad we got that out of the way as the first thing of the day.
Just the one thing I would say is the elevated bit is so slow you barely move. So like we saw loads of people just getting out of their rings and walking through because they were going...
It means the elevated level, not the actual elevator up.
Yeah, that bit was fun, but the bit over the top was just incredibly slow. But the kind of drop down was almost worth the wait at the end. That was definitely lots of fun.
Yeah. But anyway, onwards we go. Don't know where we're going, but onwards we go.
Right, let's get on the move then. And first things first, there are lots of park maps all around the complex, which is really useful to help you plan. And it is a huge complex, so it's definitely worth mapping out a bit of a route so you avoid going back and forth too much. As you can see, there are plenty of things to do here, but central to it all are the slide attractions that you can enjoy. One is more of a kids' ride, so we'll probably skip that one. And there are a couple of other ones that don't appeal to us either, although we'll show you a clip or two of them so you can see what they are like. For now, though, it's off to find our first thrill ride.
Okay, just for perspective, we're on our way to our next ride, which is either called Cypher or Singha. But when I said earlier that our hotel is a stone's throw away from Siam Park, this is what I meant. So that is our hotel there. And as you can see, literally a 10-minute walk. Anyway, time for us to go get on our next ride.
So it's time for our first fast pass test, and if we're honest, it seems that it wasn't quite needed for this ride. As you can see, there's very little queue whatsoever. That said, we do at the very end manage to jump ahead a little bit, and it's time to enjoy the ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was so good.
What have we got?
Soaked.
Yeah.
We think that one was called Cypher. Should know that because it should be named after a Pokemon, but it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
But it was so good. I did get told off for videoing, but hey ho, memory making, you only live once. So glad we did get the fast passes because, okay, the queue near the top was just long. Coordination wasn't particularly great at the top. Must have been like a language barrier or something. Otherwise, really good. Would 100% recommend it. And actually, I think that is what the aqua coaster at Vulcano Bay should be like. But that is like 20 times better.
I think the difference is like the one at Vulcano Bay, you're in like a proper little cart, aren't you? It's not like a.
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
It's like a rubber ring type thing, whereas that was a rubber ring for 2 people.
Well, technically it's for 3 people, but there was only 2 of us.
Yeah. So that was exhilarating. I think is the best way of putting it. Wasn't expecting that to be so much fun. But yeah, it was good.
Definitely, you will not come off that ride dry. You get soaked.
No chance whatsoever.
But yeah, great fun.
Right, okay, so that is Singha done. Again, another really fun, exhilarating ride. What do you think?
Yeah, another aqua coaster, probably the best one.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't expect that actually because we'd already done one. I thought that was it, but no, we got in that one. I thought I should have like some tubes and some loop-the-loop type things, and then suddenly we're in an aqua coaster again.
And for anyone who cares, whoever thought that Luke was that much of a screamer?
I think that was you screaming on the video, right?
I think that was you.
No. We'll have this debate later. But anyway, that was definitely fun. Definitely one of the must-do ones. Again, we've got fast passes, and it's pretty much a walk-on for either line this morning. So that's the 3rd one we've been on. Only one really has a fast pass so far, been advantage. I think maybe that's because it's January. We'll see how the other ones go, and it's off-season at the moment. When we came in October a few years back, we definitely needed those fast passes. So it is always a bit of a toss-up on whether you buy them or not. They're limited supply, but so far today we haven't needed them, I don't think.
No, one thing I would say, a lot of these aqua coasters, you're constantly walking up.
Exactly that. I need a little rest now because my little legs are done with walking upstairs at the moment. So maybe we'll go and bob in the pool for a little bit.
What I was going to say is that it's not designed for people that have accessibility needs.
Yeah.
And if you have problems walking, these coasters aren't probably the thing for you, just because they are very steep inclines.
They are.
And you're walking for quite a while. And there's not any like lifts or anything. It's all up. It's all going up. It's all steps. So it could make it a bit difficult for some people. But you know what? If you don't have those issues, you're not gonna regret it whatsoever. Yeah. Definitely do the fast pass.
Absolutely, I think so. And I'll definitely do this ride as well. Again, it's called Singha. Definitely one of the best ones.
Okay, and just for context, this is what we were talking about when we were talking about the stairs. As you can see, they are quite steep because it's multi-leveled, this park. And it just goes up and up and up. Right, so we've just got off the Patong
Rapids.
Yeah,
it's called.
I had to think about what that was for a second. Basically, in comparison to the other things we've been on, it's really tame.
Yeah.
But yeah, fun nevertheless.
Yeah.
That's 4 rides down now. Yeah.
Going well so far.
And that's normally like a 4-person ride, but because there was the 2 of us, we just went on together. So that's a result. We didn't have to share it with anyone. But yeah, as you said, kind of a bit tame in comparison, but still fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, here we go. Right, that was the Giant. And for some reason, I only pressed the record when I was halfway down, probably because it got really confusing because she wouldn't let 2 of us go down, and then like we had to like wait, and then I was like halfway down the flume by the time I pressed the record button. It does remind me a little bit of Disco H2O from Wet n Wild, if anyone ever remembers that. But yeah, I think after you've done like the aqua coasters, like the Patong Rapids and that just don't really hit the spot.
No, they're not bad rides, but they're just a bit meh.
Yeah, I think the only enjoyable thing for me was seeing Luke come out the flume at the other end.
You get catapulted,
Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to just chill out for a bit now, grab some sun, maybe have a beverage or something. The time is currently 12:25. So yeah.
So we've done 5 rides in 2 hours.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. That's half the kind of main rides, right?
Very much.
I'm not going to do. I don't know what it's called, but there's
the Tower of Power.
That one. It's not because I'm afraid of a drop. I'm not. But it's whenever I go on those slides where you don't have a ring or a mat or anything like that, the joins between the different sections of the slide seem to bump across my back, and I get off feeling like I'm in pain. So that's the reason why I won't be doing that. But to get done half in 2 hours is not too bad, I don't think.
No, not at all. Onwards we go.
Yeah.
And this is the Tower of Power. As you can see, it's a steep dropping slide leading to a tube submersed in the shark tank that we saw earlier. You then end up in a splash pool at the end, all in a matter of just a few seconds. Now, I'm sure this is a great ride, but as I mentioned, I do struggle with slides when no mats or rings are involved because of what it does to my back. And I've also done a similar ride where a tube submerses through an aquatic tank in Aquatica in Orlando. And my memory of that was that you speed through so quickly, you don't get to see any sea life clearly at all. And everything is just a bit of a blur of colour. Either way, let us know in the comments what you think. For now though, as you can see, we are heading back through one of the foliage adored pathways to the main wave pool to recover our sunbeds and have a little bit of a break. And actually the park designers have done a really good job with the Thai feeling here. For a moment as you walk through, it's easy to forget that you're actually on a Spanish island and not in Asia.
Hey everyone, so
Back at the sunbed.
Back at the sunbed. It is packed now. We've got friends next to us as well. They're not here at the moment, so I don't know who they are, what they look like, or where they're at the moment, but there are towels and belongings on all of the sunbeds around us. So yeah, very crowded, very intimate, but the sun is out, it is hot, it is warm. We have done, as we said just now, 5 out of the 10 rides. The wave pool has just started up. We're going to show you that later because it really is something to behold.
And also as well, for anyone that's ever been to Typhoon Lagoon, it's like people are like, which is better, Typhoon Lagoon or the one at Siam Park?
Yeah, if you've been...
And it wasn't until I'd done this one, I would have said Typhoon Lagoon.
Well, I don't know what you guys think. If you've been to both Typhoon Lagoon and Siam Park, let us know in the comments which ones you think have the better wave pool. In the meantime though, we're just going to chill out with one of these. Let me turn that around so you can see what it is. One of those. We think we've well earned this after all the running around we've done. We've done about 7,000 steps so far. I'm only halfway through the day, so yeah.
And also as well, €4.50.
€4.50 each. That's not too bad for theme park prices.
No, it isn't. I kind of always think like if you're back home, you can pick up one of these from like Sainsbury's or Tesco for like what,
like 4 for a fiver or something like that.
Yeah. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't want to stay in the hotel all day.
Yeah.
It's nice to get out and do something. So
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and I'm glad we actually did this today as well. Like we were umming and ahhing whether or not we were going to do it today,
or tomorrow, or another day. But yeah.
But you know, I just woke up early and I booked it, and I'm like, I need to get it done, but just wanted to. It's going a bit kind of stir crazy sitting there in the villa.
Yeah. So yeah, so far so good. Halfway through the day, much more fun and adventures to have yet.
So just as an indication of why it's important to bag yourself a seat here early, just look at how busy it's got now. You definitely don't want to leave it too late to claim your spot when you arrive in the morning, or you will certainly miss out on a good space. But now that we're rested, it's time for our next bit of adventuring. And we mentioned earlier that the wave pool here is pretty epic. So it's about time to dive into that experience, but before we do so, you might be wondering why this pool is so outstanding. Well, this is no ordinary wave pool. It doesn't generate a constant gentle flow of peaks and troughs like some others do. Instead, it periodically, without warning, fires a single giant tsunami-style wave straight at all the swimmers. And whilst there is the odd 1 or 2 similar wave pools around the world, Stephen just mentioned Typhoon Lagoon at Disney World Orlando, for example, this pool generates the biggest waves of them all. And up to 3 metres in height, these are not waves that you would want to mess with. So let's see how we get on.
Right, so the last time I was here, I lost my hat and my glasses. So here's hoping, not going to do it again. Right, just been told that I need to take the sunglasses off. Here comes the wave.
You think you'd be safe in this bit of the shallows, right?
In the shallow, the shallow. Oh. Right, so we're on the move again.
Yeah.
We have been in the main pool area doing the wave machine for a while, which is great fun. It's just gone 2:30, so we've got about 4 rides that we need to get done. That we was actually kind of encouraged to move from our sunbed simply because a family has decided to sit near us. Needless to say, they're not particularly the type of people that we would want to be around. Every other word is a swear word. They've got young children, which I kind of just, I don't know, it's just speechless. I just don't understand why you'd speak to children in that way, but hey, some people do. So yes, we thought this is the moment for us to give us a bit of a kick, get out, finish off the rides that we need to do. The flumes that we need to do, and then kind of head on back to the hotel. The park closes at about 5 today, so as we said, we've got like 2.5 hours, but you know, we don't want to be here until closing and be stuck in all of the crowds and everything. So this is our moment to finish off what we need to do, and then head on back. So off we go.
Off we go.
Okay, so we're on the way to our next sliding adventure, but we just wanted to show you this area quickly for those of you that have kids. This is the Lost City, which is a fairly typical aqua park kids playground. There's a little splash pool at the front for the kids to mess around in safely without it being too deep for them, and behind that there's a sort of climbing fame come adventure playground where they can dart around ducking and diving through various walkways whilst trying to avoid jets of water. But if you think you can be cunning and avoid the water altogether, you may be sadly mistaken. If anyone knows what the phrase Gardiloo meant in the medieval times, this is probably the most epic of them all, although possibly slightly more sanitary than back in those days. Know what we're on about? Answers on a postcard are accepted, but a comment on the video will do too. And this is one of the rides that we mentioned earlier that we'd probably skip if we didn't have that much time. Naga Racers is a water mat slide where you compete with other guests to see who can get to the end first. I guess if you're in a group, it could be a fun challenge for everyone, but there's only 2 of us here today, and as you can see, it's a bit of a blink and you miss it sort of experience, and we didn't really fancy climbing all the way up to the top for that, even with the fast passes we've had. So instead, we're going to watch the next race, and then we're going to head straight to our next flume ride, which is Jungle Snake. Right, lesson in life, people. Don't ever give your husband your mobile phone to look after. I'll let Stephen explain this one.
So as I press the film button, coming down on that one, the chain, it come off the chain, and literally I saw it going down the little pipe thing before we
us,
did.
Not in his hand, in the pipe.
Yeah, and then obviously we got off. There was no phone. But the good thing is, if you ever wanted to know, does a €6.99 cheap phone cover case stop your phone from
getting wet?
Getting wet.
Getting waterbound, what is the phrase?
Waterbound is a good one, because literally it sunk when we...
To the bottom of the splash pool, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we couldn't find it when we got here because it was so way down. They had to stop the ride for a little bit so they could send the little man out to have a look at, seeing if they could find it. Thankfully, it was still there.
The irony is though, this wasn't my phone, this was Luke's.
This is my phone. Hence why, don't ever give your husband your phone to look after, because that is what happens. So yeah, everything up until now has been drama free, but just for a little minute then, my heart sank, and I'm pretty sure my insurance wouldn't have covered me for it being lost in a water flume somewhere. So yeah.
As someone who does who does insurance
for a living, yeah,
for the last 15 years, I can probably guarantee you that would not be covered under accidental damage. Unless you've got personal possessions, and then it might be, but you need to check
we don't
your
want to
policy.
chance that one. But anyway, ride itself.
So we did the Dragon.
Yeah. Dragon was okay.
And how many more?
So hold on, so we did the I can't remember which one that was. That was the dragon we just did, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we did the jungle snake, which was okay.
We did cobra on that one. We just did the dragon where Luke nearly lost his phone.
Yeah.
We've decided not to do the...
I'm taking my phone back to my locker, so you will have to take our word for it that we've been on the volcano, but we will tell you about it when we get off at the other end, what that was like. I am not chancing any more now. If you lose it a second time, I'm sure they won't be so accommodating trying to find it for us.
Sorry.
Anyway, one more definite to do, and if we've got time we might do the chasers, but it looked a little bit tame, so we might just show you a clip of that video so you can see what it looks like. Who knows, if I don't lose my phone again, because all of our footage currently is on the phone and we haven't transferred it onto my hard drive yet. So yeah, this is going back in the locker for a bit, and we're going to try and squeeze some more rides in. That's it, folks, we are all done. What's the time, Stevie B?
Time has just gone 8 minutes past 4.
Yeah.
We did the dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
It was all right. I mean,
there was no way we would have been able to video it on there because there was us with 2 other people. Yeah. And you had to again hold on for dear life.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think lesson learned on that one.
Lesson learned, indeed.
100%. And we were going to tell you a little bit about that when we got back to the sunbeds, but rather bizarrely, when we got back, some other group of people had like moved our stuff to other beds. Taken some of the beds that we were staying on so they could all be together, which I don't know, I think that's a bit rude. You don't touch someone else's stuff.
It's a piss take,
and you don't move it without their permission, but they'd made themselves very comfortable in the beds that we were in, and all our stuff was piled on a few beds further down the line, a bit close towards that family that were causing a lot of ruckus earlier. So we didn't stay there very long. We just kind of dried off and then decided that, you know what, we could sit here and sunbathe and have a drink, which we have to pay for, or we could go back to the hotel and sunbathe and have a drink, which is free because we got an all-inclusive package. So
but putting those two things to one side, we've had a really good day. You know what, is it the cheapest thing?
No.
Probably not. By the time you pay for your entry, your fast passes, your lockers and your bits and pieces, you're looking at about nearly like $70 to $80 euros rather each. So if you times up by a family of 4, it turns into being quite a few pennies. But obviously for us dinks, it's not too much.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But yeah, definitely, I was going to say, apart from those 2 little issues, it was good fun. I've really enjoyed it. I think Stephen has as well. So I guess now it's probably about time to head back to the hotel, and I don't think there's really much else to show you, so that's probably going to be the end of the vlog for this time round, because we've done dinner before, we've done the evening entertainment before, so there isn't really much else that there is to cover on this particular occasion. So that's probably the end, unless something else interesting happens. So don't forget, if you like what we do, if you like what you see, to like, subscribe. We always love to read your comments, but most importantly, don't forget to turn on your notification buttons so that when new content comes out, you are told that it's there, ready for you to view.
Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed the day and seeing what we've got up to as much as we've enjoyed it. But we will see you on the next one.
See you later, guys. Take care.
Bye.
I'm swapping places.
Okay. Where?